Why am I here? Where did I come from? Where am I going when I leave this thing called the physical body? If you have such a gnawing inside yourself to find the answers to that, whether you can believe it or not, I assure you, if you hang around long enough, that this humble self can show you and give you the answers. Now, you must come to realize that what we call spirit and matter are two poles of energy, of consciousness, whereby that which we call ourselves, the I am that I am, they must be brought into natural harmony, a state of being where the part of yourself that can only be referred to as consciousness must be able to set with balance of these two great poles. We are all exactly made the same. Although we have two eyes, a nose, a mouth, two ears, and a face, and we all look different. This is because we are at work in the field of mind, in the field of form. We descended, we came down, and in any solar system there is one active place going on, such as a school. There's other things going on the other planets in our solar system, but they are other schools and not of the physical form. And when you can travel to the other planets and take on the forms that they use on other planets, then you will know of what I speak. But there's only one physical planet active in our system. Now, there are many other systems and many other galaxies, the same as this one. So we're not all just strangely one type of creation. We come out of this great supreme, and we have what our religion calls a soul. Emerson put it the wisest that I know from the Western mind. He called it the Oversoul. And this is the Oversoul. And all of us, regardless of what type of body we wear, at that point are exactly the same. There's no difference. And when you can return to this state of awareness, you will see that we are all made in exactly the same image and likeness. But you will also see, when you can look back down the stream of life, which Jesus called the straight and narrow path, and few there be that find it. The reason they don't find it, they look where it's not. You have to look into your physical body, because that's where it begins for each of us. It is not in some mystical, far-off place called heaven. It is right here. And this is the thing that we teach you, where the straight and narrow path is, how to find it, how to walk it, how to travel with it, how to turn the forces of consciousness around and return to that place from which you came, so that you can enter into what is called an awakening, an illumination, so that you can, as Jesus say, be born again into the consciousness of the divine. How long does it take? A twinkling of an eye for some, maybe lifetimes for others. Who knows? I know that if you hurt bad enough, it don't take long. But if you're just curious, if you're still in the mental planes of trying to weigh things by good and evil, it'll take you a long time. Take you a long time. But if you can set good and evil aside and begin to operate this instrument by righteousness and develop a sincere devotion to that which you are, which resides in this stream, is far more anxious to help you and to have you know it than you are, far more. Because it sent you here for a purpose. And developed this shape and this mind that you have, this form that you have, this awareness that you have, your thinking and performing capacities. It sent you here for a special purpose. And what we have to do is become a Christ-conscious person. Where we got off, not only in the Christian religion, but in the Buddha religion, in the Krishna religion, in all the 12 religions that man live by today, we worship a personality when we should listen to their teachings. So we must first realize that we're not this body. We're not the mind. We're not the spirit. You cannot be that which you have. I have all these things. And if you stick around long enough, which, of course, in one short hour we can't explain the whole thing. But I have all these things. And they're in a straight energy flow. The straight and narrow path, the holy Nam, the Tao, called by many names by many great teachers. This is your Godhead. This is your illumined body. This is your spirit. You can go there. You can enter into it. You can become illumined. In all the religions that I have had the privilege of studying and researching, one thing they're all common on, and that's the light within themselves. They all talk about the light. And this is what we must come and realize, that we are not on this planet in a little physical body for 50, 60, 70, or 100 years, and then no longer do we function and exist. We really live in this light, right here in this illumined light of 1,000 suns. The first time I saw it, it was so bright it scared me, frightened me, because it was so tremendous. When we enter the true awareness, which is a base state, all that is outside, which this is outside, is cleared away. And we go beyond the body, we go beyond the emotions, we go beyond the mind. And this is the most difficult thing of all. You will find, to make your mind shut up. You know, Jesus said it in another way, a beautiful way. He says, go into the closet and be still. The mind. You know, they spoke about the garments. The garments are your habits. That's what you wear. You wear your habits. And Jesus spoke about the garments that we wear. And when he said go into the closet, he meant to hang up the garments, hang up your habits, quieten them, still them, be still. And as soon as you can be still enough, then you can move into the awakened state. You can think of it like a mirror, which when you stand before, it reflects back what stands in front of the mirror. Now the mirror doesn't change, but as you stand in front of the mirror, you change by whatever expression may come upon your face or movement of the body. What we have to do is clear this mirror. And this is the mind. The mind has to be cleaned and cleared. And when we do this, we become the mirror. We become that which sends itself out. And when we look at another person, and this is difficult for most people to accept, we see ourselves. When I look at you, I see me. Because if I cannot see in you the different aspects of consciousness, I don't have them. Some I have under control. Some I don't have under control. No man can put on this physical form and enter into this plane of consciousness at its day of evolution without taking on the hazards of that particular body or form. There is no man who can enter and take on the body at this stage of evolution and walk among you in a perfect state, because he has to take on the imperfect state to be with you. It is a school we are attending. I have had within me a tremendous desire to be a teacher of all the paths. Not just one path, but of all the paths. I have yet to learn from some of the other paths. But I know that I shall learn from them because it is my desire, and I'm not lazy. I will work at it. A lazy man cannot find God. I would rather have a person who has been a hard worker, a person who has been a good businessman, even dig a ditch or perform open heart surgery, it matters not. But if they have put themselves into that job, if they have made an effort to do it well, they are the greatest students that a teacher can find, because they have organized themselves. They have been able to put their mind and energy forces into an accomplishment. I am now here for the selected few whose minds hunger. I asked the Great Brotherhood if I should go out and travel across the plains of this planet. And they said, no. For now, you stay where you are, and those who need you will find you. You must stay in your place, and let those who need you find you, and you shall open their door to the divine input. The true guru. Where is the real guru? Here. This is the Savior. Here. This is the Messiah. It's inside of you. It's inside of all of us. What are you going to save? That which is below and that which is above be in harmony, so it can be placed into the Oversoul, which becomes the body of the I Am. That's what it saves. And who saves it? Yourself, the Christ within you, the Messiah within you. It has to come unto you. It is time now, in the scheme of evolution, that man be given the privilege, if it be of his heart, to awaken to the consciousness of himself. This is why you find me speaking to you in strange words, saying and explaining things in a different way in which you probably have not heard before. 50 years ago, this could not have been said. When I birthed on the planet, it was not possible to speak of these things. 1945, a door into the planet was opened. A new state of consciousness was breathed into the mental planes of planet Earth. About 3-4 years ago, one of the great masters entered into the center of the earth, who is from another planet, but we call them, they come by the name of Kamaris. They are the Kamari brothers. And he took the job of being the seed in the center of this planet. And he is outbreathing from the center of this planet to the surface of this earth. information that will become commonplace in time. And these things of which I speak to you as a forerunner, in 50 or 100 years from now, will be commonplace, will be spoken and studied with great enthusiasm and excitement among mankind. The time is not ready quite yet for the multitude. Much has to be done. Much work has to be done. There are those on the planet who are preparing for this work, the same as Jesus had to come and prepare for his day. There are others, and we have met them, at least I have. Some of you will probably walk with this beautiful being and help him as he moves across this planet when his time comes. I do not know whether I will be alive at the time he starts his work. I am here until they tell me that it's time to come home, then I shall leave. The right action will produce a true relationship between you and other parts of Great Supreme. Great Supreme, this is the best that I can draw it. And this is a drawing of how God, if you want to call it that, creates what we call the world. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Magnificent thing to sit in the center of. You'll notice that it has a black hole. There are black holes in the sky. They are doorways into other great supreme states of consciousness. Beautiful and wonderful. I have been through a few. It scares the hell out of you when you go through. Because you feel yourself being condensed and condensed and condensed and condensed until you have become almost a state of nothing, and then there is a burst, and you pass through. And you find yourself in another awareness of expressions going on. You will find that in the center of each one of these that's in your body, the etheric body, of course, there is a black hole. And many of you have experienced the black hole in different states of these centers. John in the Bible, in Revelations, one of his great teaching was, he says, the seals must be opened. These are the seals. These are the apples that must be eaten in the Garden of Eden. These are the flowers of Maharishi. These are the jewels of the great kingdom. These are the wheels of Ezekiel. You must come to know them. How to use them. You must come to be the king of your kingdom. You must become the master of your consciousness. And it can't be done overnight. And it can't be done just because you want it. It has to be done because you want to live in such a way that you master your thinking. It is important to learn the use of all things. We have been taught and we hear that we must deny the world, we must give up the world, we must isolate ourselves in a monastery, we must have no desire for the world. We hear all these do nots. I tell you, you must do. This planet and all the things that are on it, and your body, and all the parts that it's made of, was not put there to deny, but to become the master of. Use it. Learn how to be in harmony with divine order. I tell you, you're here to enjoy, not to deny. It's foolish to deny. The only thing you have to be careful of, and it's very important to know, and that is not to become attached to all the wonderful things of life. Have them, use them, enjoy them. Make them a part of your whole expression. You think this part of yourself enjoys watching this thing be miserable? No way. You can live like Job if you want to. Not this character. No way. I don't see any sense in suffering anymore than I have to. No. I'm going to go into these higher states. And I'm going to make this piece of equipment perform in harmony with the Christ Buddha level. When this and this comes together, you are a whole being. I can guarantee you that when you die, when you do leave this body, and you sit before the judgment, and it's your God self and your Christ that will do the judging, images will come before you. And they won't say, "What books did you read?" No. You will view the way you have lived. You will view your habits, your state of mind, how you have performed. All of that will go before you. You got to go through it. I got to go through it. We all got to go through it. We have to learn the truth firsthand. If you don't learn it firsthand, you don't know it. You only think you know it. And this is one of the sad things that I see, even among some of us. We think we know when we only know a little. I say to you, I don't know nothing. I am only learning parts of myself. And every time I find a new part, it makes me joyful.